Hello Guitar Heroes and welcome back to Clone Hero Lessons. Today I'm going to be going over how to play Through the Fire and Flames from Guitar Hero 3 in 2018. So this song has been killing Guitar Hero players for about 11 years now. It's probably been failed close to about 1 billion times, I would guess. And so now I think it's time I show how to play it. So it would be crazy of me to start with anything but the intro. I think this is the part that fails people the most by far. So for those of you who are kind of like not quite on the level of passing this, something you need to know is, so when you look at these notes, I mean, obviously most of them are hammer-ons, but what you're going to want to do is hold the green note for the majority, well, for this whole part. And all you really have to do is tap the other ones pretty quickly, because once you tap it, you're triggering that, but then letting go will trigger the green one again. So if you're feeling confident enough, or if you're not familiar with tapping and using both hands to fret, then I would suggest just try doing it one-handed. So this is what it would look like if you're trying to do it one-handed. I mean, this way can feel kind of awkward because like you have to stretch your hand and do it really fast. But then you could also do it tapping it like this. Now there's a lot of ways you can do it. I usually like to only tap the last 3 notes with my tapping hand and just take care of the reds with the fretting hand. But you could also do it just like all 4 if you really wanted to. This way is kind of weird, but it was probably my first introduction to tapping on this song. If you don't want to try and work together with both of your hands. I think I have seen other people that will hold the green note with this hand and then do it that way, but that's pretty weird. I wouldn't really recommend trying to learn this way unless you were trying to show off, I guess. So anyway, that's that section. So yeah, like I said, my favorite way to do this is to hold the green and then tap the red with this finger and then use these fingers to go yellow, blue, and orange. And you only want to tap it quick so that when you let it up, it'll hit the green one again. So let's just go. Now this part, there are hammer-ons in it. And if you really want to, you can just like hit 1 and then 3 instead of... So like, as you can see, it goes like 2 and then 4 and then 2 and then 4. But if you really take advantage of the hammer-ons and you're quick enough to really catch it, then you can just like hit green and then strum and then hit yellow, strum 3 times, and then hit green and then strum once. So, I mean, you'll see more advanced players do that kind of thing, but usually my calibration isn't good enough to really line up and do it very well. So it's good to just strum at a constant pace. I mean, the speed stays the same for the whole thing. And then you just kind of have, like that little, yeah, you'll have some, just hammer-on zigzags that come in the middle of it. And don't get too thrown off by those. They're not as bad as they look. Now, as you saw in the last run that I just did, you kind of want to do that and tap that last note with your elbow. Elbow strums are a pretty good idea at the end of a tapping section if there's like 1 strum. And so now again, there's just so there's a lot of sections in this where you just kind of have to have good strumming rhythm. But Dragon Force songs are kind of friendly in that they always start and end on a down strum. Meaning, so like you could go down, 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 and then like down, up, down for 3s, and then down, up, down for 5s. And pretty much all of their little patterns are just like, you know, 1s, 3s, 5s, 7s. So you're always going down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's kind of weird when there's like 4s or 6s where it's like down, up, and then you stop, and then down, up, that kind of thing can feel kind of awkward, but the way it would work in music is like, say there were 9/8 notes, it would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So yeah, you're kind of just starting the next frame if you're trying to... So let's just go through that again. I'll even slow it down. Alright, not this part. Alright, so we'll go... Something else you'll notice a lot in this song is when there will be like one hammer-on note after like the initial. Like right here. Now that's actually kind of a good thing because you can like strum the first note, so you go dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I hope that made any sense at all. Let's just keep going. Like a lot of these strumming parts are kind of all the same. Yeah, this part you can alternate strum. Now this part used to throw me off, but here I'll show you what to do on this next one. So basically, you're just going like 3 2 1 2 3 2 3 2 3 2 1 2 3 2 3 2 3, or however many it is. So I mean, you can just kind of like zigzag it and then tap that one note a bunch. When you're only using 3 fingers, tapping is not that bad. Now you have a lot of these build-up sections too, where you have a bunch of triplets, and they really are one-handable. You just gotta like try and make sure that you're going 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then 1 2 3. I mean, I usually just like to use my 3 main fingers and just move them all the way up. Sometimes, I mean, you can do 1 2 3 4, but I don't really like to go like 1 2 3 with these fingers. So yeah, you'll see there's a bunch of those parts. Yeah, you can strum all downs or right there. See it right there again. You just strum down and then you take that one hammer-on break. So I'm kind of just playing through this at slow motion, but at the same methods that I would if I was playing at full speed. Which again, if you're going to be slowing down songs to practice them, you should always use the same practicing techniques. Alright, now right here is an interesting part, because it goes 3 2 1 4 2 1 5 2 1 4 2 1. And then 1 2 3. Yeah, so for that part, you just want to hold green and then just go 3 2 4 2 5 2 4 2, and yeah, it's just a couple of triplets put together. It's a pretty fun section to get down. All right, here we go again. So there's just a plain gap right there. But yeah, whenever you see like a hammer-on in the middle of the fast strumming sections, that's basically just a spot where you can take your hand off the strummer and just take like that tiny little one-note break. So let's see what's in this part. Now the hardest part of the song comes up here. Now here's a bunch of trills. And now, yeah, you just kind of want to tap these with one hand. You can also just go up here if you want to. Now this part is the most difficult part of the whole song, just because of how fast it is at full speed. So it does this like 3 or 4 times. So the way I've seen people do it is they just hold red, and so how it goes is 5-4 and then 5-3 and then 5-4-3. So you could do it like 5-4, 5-3, 5-4-3, and then 5-4, 5-3, 5-4-3. But if you don't want to try and like think about how much you're alternating your fingers and doing a different thing with each time, you could just go like 5-4-3 with both hands for every single one, if you're just trying to spam it. I mean, honestly, this part's not that important unless you're trying to FC the song. This is probably the last part of the song that you'd be needing to get down. So, I mean, if this is all you have left, then you're probably better than I am and don't really need this lesson. But if you're just trying to get through the song, then you really don't need to worry too much about that little part. Like, here, I'll play this part at full speed in case you haven't run into this yet. Now those parts, so you saw a bunch of parts right there, is kind of the reason I don't like this song very much, is that there's a lot of like string bends. What do you want? What? Meow. So they're kind of like string bends if you were to be playing it on a real guitar, but basically like you would strum a red and it would just go red, yellow. And then you would strum the yellow and it would go yellow, blue. And then strum the blue and go blue, orange or something like that. And those, when you have a bunch of those going really fast in between each other, it just makes the playing of it really awkward. Just something to keep in mind. Alright, here comes this part. Yeah, so you can just kind of spam your hands just doing this a bunch right there. And you shouldn't have too much problem. So this part, I like to alternate strum it. Alright, back to the... I hope you can hear the strum bar. This part is all about just getting the strumming pattern down. Alright, let's move on to the next section. A lot of this stuff is just kind of repeating itself, so there's not too much to explain the second time around. So anytime you see trills, trills I usually just say would be any 2 notes next to each other alternating. So you can just like hold green, tap red a bunch of times, and then move it to red and tap yellow a bunch of times, and then, you know, just move your way up. Yeah, that seems to work most of the time at least. Alright. So that part right there is a little bit different than the last time. So the last time this section rolls around, it goes 3-2-1, 4-2-1, 5-2-1, 4-2-1. This time it goes like 3-2-1-2-1-2-1-2, and it's just like a long trill. And then it just goes like 3 and then 4 and then I don't know. That's another part you kind of just have to figure out in your mind. There's another string bend. Yeah, I really hate this part. This is like probably my least favorite part of the song because of all the string bending parts. Alright, now we're getting close to the solo. 1, 2. Now, I hope you don't have trouble with this part, because if you do, you're probably not even ready to play this song yet. But right here, you just gotta... So, just trill with these two fingers and then do one big zigzag and then trill with them and then go all the way up and back. I mean, once it gets to the point where it's just shredding, there's not as much to say. And you kind of just have to get better at that kind of thing. And here we go again with like being able to tap that. Now this part, I'd say my biggest issue with keeping a streak here is that I rush it. Now you have to remember that this part of the song is slowed down compared to all the other fast strumming parts. So yeah, you don't want to overstrum. So yeah, this part, you're just, I mean, you can, like I said before, you can stop strumming on the hammer-on parts, but I don't really see the point of, it just kind of overcomplicates it if you want to just only strum the strum notes and then hammer on the others. But yeah, you can just keep a steady pace, and it is slower than the rest of the tempo of the song, so. Alright, so next section. Let's take this like piece by piece. I mean, you can kind of just watch my hands on how to do a lot of this stuff if you're curious, but I don't know much to say. Actually, that one section right there. So this part's kind of weird because it goes 2, 2, 2, 2, and then it goes 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, and then it goes 2, 2, 2, 2. Now that's kind of weird to a lot of people. And then just the 4 quads right there. So yeah, you're gonna need to learn to stretch your hand a lot if you want to do 5, 3, 1 a lot, because going up and down that can be pretty tricky. I still wouldn't say that's the hardest pattern to do. I'd say the hardest pattern, at least for me, is the 1, 2, 4, 5, because trying to stretch your hands like past the yellow note feels really difficult. So let's move on. Alright, now time to just shred a little bit. More trills, triplets. Now this part's just like the intro. So, you might have noticed that anytime it goes up to any kind of trill, just 2 notes next to each other, I just naturally take my hand off the strum bar and tap it, especially if it's something you're supposed to do with your pinky, because I hate trying to like tap things with my pinky really fast. It's pretty unreliable, so almost anytime there's a blue-orange trill, I'll almost always come up and start tapping, especially since that's the easiest one to reach. It's a little different if, like, say you're tapping green and yellow, or red and yellow, and you've got to jump up and start tapping the yellow, but when you're not looking at your hands, it's kind of hard to, like, place it exactly where it needs to go. So anytime you see a blue-orange trill, just try to get into the habit of trilling it however you want. Just watch Clone Hair Lesson Video 1 if you want to learn all about trills. String bends right there. Those string bends are so annoying. Now this section's called What The. So this one, I've always looked at it and thought, like, I can do that, but it took me a long time before I actually could do that. But yeah, it's just 5, 4, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 4, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. So yeah, you just gotta switch between doing triplets and then trilling, then triplets and then trilling. see if I can do this. Yeah, so this whole solo is just lots of crazy stuff back to back, and it's kind of hard to transition between it. Honestly, playing it section by section like this is a lot easier than playing it like normally. Alright, I'm gonna go over this little part again. Wow. This is a long section. So we'll go over 50% speed. Trill, triplet. You can also like tap these triplets if you're quick enough. I usually suck at doing that part. Now this part you're gonna want to, I know it sucks, but oh, my cat keeps bugging me. Okay, so for this part, this is another part that's pretty hard to hit. I mean, obviously you can just spam it by doing all of the descending sweeps that your left hand can take, but I'd say that the correct way to do this is to hold yellow at the start, just go blue, orange, and then hold red, blue, orange, and then hold green, blue, orange. So, see if I can get to just that part. Drill. Yeah, so when you're doing it at full speed, it's gonna look like that, and that's just something that will take a long time to get down. Here we stand. We don't need to do that part. That's just a bunch of long. Alright. And back up to full speed. Now right here, it starts off not too bad because you're just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. But then you get to this part, and it's zigzags, just really fast zigzags. So you're just gonna want to go yellow, or 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 5, 2, 1, 2, 5, 2, 1, and it's another one that you'll probably just end up spamming until you're trying to like FC it or something, and then you're just back to this pattern of maintaining the same strumming tempo. String bends. Now this part, you can just hold red. Oh, I just restarted it. I'll just go to that section. Now this part's not actually that hard because you could just hold red and then tap the orange with one hand and then tap the blue and then just kind of alternate. You can one-hand it too, but I don't really like to one-hand that section. And yeah, so that's the whole song. I just played this before doing the lesson, and I ended up with 828,000. That's my high score for this song. So I know the highest score anyone's ever gotten, I think, is from Randy. It was like 996 or something. He's basically proven that you can't get 1,000,000 points, but he's also proven that you can FC it at 150% speed, or FC it with your eyes closed, just whatever is more insane. But hopefully you'll be able to pass this song. I mean, it's a pretty fun one once you finally get it down, and then you can start moving on to harder stuff. But, yep, that's all for this video, so thanks for watching.